Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. This recording is what's going to start us off, as it does every single January, to get your social media on track for the entire year. And this is a really hard concept for most people, to look at their social media and plan it out over the course of 12 months. It seems to be a very random process. What you're looking at right now is the first tab of a social media content calendar. It's part of the downloads. It's a template that I put together from various sources, and it's something that every single business can and should use. It doesn't matter what you sell or what you do. By organizing yourself, you can really gather your thought leadership and start bringing in the leads. So I'm going to jump right in. I want to make this short and sweet. This is going to be your first assignment to go in and fill out certain things, and I'll let you know what it is. So we're going to start at the bottom, which is the tabs. I'm going to move it up a little bit so you can see it. For people who aren't very familiar with Excel, it's not just this what you see, it's actually on the bottom. There's various tabs here that you can create. So what we have is weekly, and then it goes by month: January, February, March, April, May, all the way to December of 2017. I'm going to go back to weekly. A couple of navigation things, just in case you don't know, right up here at the top where it says 125, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. So when you go to print it, you just have to figure that out on your own. I like to do it online. I have people that print out sections, however you need to do it. This needs to be filled out. I like the weekly because it gives you a broad overview. If you don't do anything else, you need to do your weekly calendar. Why? Because this is where all of your marketing and ads and promotions need to go. So you have your month, you have your weeks, you have holidays, major federal holidays, and some minor holidays. And then you have what are called weekly observances. These are national weekly observances. And the reason you want to focus on them, if you recall our discussion on hashtags, is that if you do hashtag African Heritage and Health Week, you're going to pick up an audience that you might never even tap into. So this just gives you an idea of all of the things that you can look at. So when you go into a regular calendar in January, you have national days: National Compliment Day, the SAG Awards, Rattlesnake Roundup. These are things that are national and international. They're not all going to be applicable to your business, and they shouldn't be. You shouldn't be just posting national weekly observances, and you need to think about it in advance, which is what you're going to do in this coming week and all month long. We are going to fill this out so that you have a good sense of where you're starting in January and where you're going to end in December. It's not written in concrete. Remember that, so you can change it. I've given you an example. So January is the end of the holidays, so people aren't really focused on a whole lot of things other than sales, depending on your industry. I like to focus on Valentine's Day because it's the next major holiday, and immediately when you walk into any retail store, it's right there, right in the aisles: chocolates, pink things, hearts. So make it part of your posting. Give it a theme. Maybe you're going to do love stories, love letters. What's your business? You're going to have clothing that's all red or pink, and you're going to do gift guides if you're a retailer in that sense. But let's say you're a school and you want to post. You could make it applicable to books, learning, stories, all of the things. But you need to have a theme. That's what this little column is here for theme. And it ends the week of Valentine's Day. You cannot stretch it out. The reason I ask you to pick your themes, and you should have about 6 for the entire year, is they're basic stuff. There's spring, there's fall, there's summer, there's picnics, harvests, whatever it is that relates to the business that you're doing, and that you can partner up and take pictures of your products and services and talk about, maybe link it to some events. So pick about 6 themes here. Look at your year, decide, you know what, at the end of February, March, and April are going to be spring. And you're going to focus on spring, and you're going to use those things. Weekly observances. I want you to go in and remove the things that are not applicable to your business. If you are not a Catholic school, and you don't care about Catholic School Week, if you don't deal with children in any way, you're not health related, Burn Awareness Week, these are things you could just remove them. Some of them may be blank. Just, it's here as a guideline. Everyone can find Random Acts of Kindness Week. Maybe your office is going to do something and you're going to do, this week we're going to post a random act of kindness every single day from February 12th to February 18th. It gives you a post. There's 7 posts right there that will engage people that's not related to the selling process. And just make sure that you do that. So that's your themes, your weekly observances. Event column. Events are anything that are going on in your specific business, in your neighborhood / Main Street / city. Things that you can capture an audience that might be coming to town, especially if you're a Main Street retailer. This is really important to focus on, is maybe the Sauerkraut Festival doesn't really affect you, but if you've got 100,000 people rolling through your town, you might want to talk about it, because that hashtag, an event, is going to have people looking, and they're going to say, oh, who is this business? So be aware of what's going on and write it in. Now, if you're a business that has a lot of events, they need to all be in there. You need to put them in. You need to make sure that you know the dates, and do it by week first, because this is going to be attached to your ads and promotions. So once you fill in your themes, you pick your events, you put them in there, and maybe there's some events on that weekly observances that you say, hey, this really is applicable to me. We are entertainers, we use owls, and here's Festival of Owls Week, the week of March 5th to 10th. You might want to create an event in your business that's attached to that. Everyone can do an event for Family Volunteer Week, just to bring people in. Even if no one comes in or you don't do an official event, it might be something that you can do and then attach to it an ad or promotion. So if you're doing any kind of print advertising, radio, anything where you are paying out dollars, it needs to be in this ads promo column. One of the biggest mistakes I see from small businesses, especially small entrepreneur businesses, is that they do not look ahead at their year as to where they're spending their ads and promotions. Put it in this column. If you just did this page and you went all the way down through Christmas, here's May, June, September, National Wolf Awareness Week, and you said, hey, we could do an event because we have all this wolf themed stuff that we sell. You can definitely find things that you're going to promote. World Kindness Week, you're going to put that in. So this is number 1. The weekly tab is the minimal thing I want to see. And I want you to email it to me. So all you have to do is screenshot it. Hopefully you know how to do that. I don't need the whole calendar for you, but I can look at it and I can tell you or give you ideas by knowing the type of business that you are. And this in itself is going to attract 10% more people to your social media sites and inside your business, just doing this process. Now let's go in and let's take a look at April, okay? April is a very busy month for a lot of different types of businesses. So now, this is a very busy screen. You don't need all of this. These are the events that are associated to the month. So you have National, here's Keep America Beautiful Month. Everyone can tap into that. I don't care if you're a dentist, you have a restaurant, you're an art dealer, you're a teacher. You can tap into that. Remove the things that do not affect you. If you really don't care about National Soy Food Month, go in, highlight the word here up at the top, and delete it out. Then go down and take a look at the days. Again, you can go in and you can prune them out. You should be working on your calendar 2 months at a time. Ideally, you're going to do 3 months at a time, but stick with 2. So you're going to know that you have a theme for April, right? So March and April might be spring. So I would write that on here. April 2017, your theme is spring. So how does this affect you? So you're going to go in and you're going to delete out, again, Tax Day, National That Sucks Day. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. Maybe you don't care. You're going to look at these things and you can attach to it different posts that you do. Now, school of thought. You do not have to mark every single post that you do in Facebook, every single post that you do in Twitter and Google+. These are things that you're doing all the time. It's a great way to plan. It's a great way to look and make a note that you did that post and you scheduled National Siblings Day, because that's part of what you do. And you can make a notation in here. So these columns are really just for your benefit, because these are, constant posting types of things. Where you need to start planning is in your blog, your newsletter. You need to think about your LinkedIn. You need to look at other social networks if they're related to you. Let's say you don't do the Google Plus or the Twitter. Do not delete them. You're going to need them at some point. This way you just have it right there. But look at your newsletter first. Your newsletter could be, do you send it out on the 1st? Do you send it on the 7th, on the 15th? You should be doing some kind of email marketing, and it should be related to the theme that you're doing. So if you're celebrating spring, then your newsletters that go out in March and April should all be celebrating spring. Because subconsciously people look at that and they see that you have a consistent process that you're going through when it comes to marketing, and they like that. It's different than branding. We'll talk about branding in more detail, but you want to put it in. You want to say, okay, so every 15th of the month, we're going to send out a newsletter. You really should send them out weekly, depending on the size of your business. But let's say for your purposes, you just want to do it on the 15th of the month. You need to put that in here. You need to decide what it is that you're going to talk about on the 15th of the month for your business. So you go back and you think about the events that you're having. You can decide if it's important. So if you're going to talk about National Sauerkraut Festival, you can talk about that. So in here is where you're going to decide on your content, and you're going to be prepared for it. So you could send out a post in Facebook a week before that's pay attention for newsletter, right? So you know that you have to post something on the 10th to remind people to look on the 15th. And this is your newsletter date. So you just kind of can look ahead. Every week you should be reviewing this. The minute you get in on Monday morning, you should be saying, what am I doing this week? What's happening to go in here? Blogging is the articles and the inbound process that we work on with the questions. I'm not going to get into that now. That's part of our training. But for those of you that know what I'm talking about, this is where you're going to put it in there. You're going to say, you know what, I'm going to write an article this week on this question. I'm going to post this. And then you're going to take that blog and you're going to repost it. You're going to go and you're going to post it on your LinkedIn. You're going to put it on your Instagram. You're going to put it on your Facebook. So this is your chance to decide where you do it. And if you know about posting, and for those of you that don't, when you do a blog, you post it today. So today it goes out. You do not automatically do your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google, your LinkedIn. You want to make sure that you put it in other days. Why? Because of search engine optimization. It gives you time to build it in. So if you're only doing a blog once a week, then you're going to cross-post it here. Make sense? And see how it's already written in there. So you're going to go in. Let's go back to March. March is your spring theme. Or look at what's going on. Maybe you don't like spring and you're tired of spring and it doesn't relate to you. Maybe every month you're just going to highlight it. You're going to have National Umbrella Month, and all month long you're going to say, this is what we're going to talk about. It just depends on how busy your business is and what it does and how it goes. Okay? So let me go back and recap. Homework. You are going to fill in your weekly tab, which is at the bottom. If you need to pick this up, remember you can go 200%. Go back. If you don't like it that big, you can kind of get a broader perspective. I like it at 150. You're going to go in. You're going to remove anything that isn't applicable to you. You're going to pick your themes. You're going to take them. You're going to put color on them, and you're going to name it something. You're going to do your events in your town, in your business. So if Huntington Beach, California, which is right up the street from me, they have the surf competition, you need to put that in here because it relates to your location. So you need to know when that surf competition is. Be aware of your community. If the library is doing something, if the fire department is doing something, you should bridge out. We have a whole month where all we're going to do is we're going to deal with community stuff because it's very, very important. So if you run an ad, you want to make sure that it links up and it doesn't compete with something else. And then these columns are for yourself, but I think if you stick here, you're good. Then remember, 2 months at a time, January, February, what are you going to put in here? What's your favorite stuff? So Facebook. So people go in, and when we were working on this, we typed it in, and we're going to cross post. We're going to be a problem solver. You're going to do your favorite painting, Groundhog Day. There's lots of things that you can do to write in. So the best types of blogs, for those of you that remember that, is weekly problem solver, because blogs should be solving the problems of your customers. And we're going to spend a lot of time on that. In every single training week, we're going to be talking about those questions on here. So go through, take a look, file, save as, and you're going to save it as your 2017, and make sure that you're doing versions. So for those of you that don't know how to do that, you just put V1, V2, V3, so that you can actually keep the basic one blank, maybe send it over to somebody who deals with it. One calendar per company should actually do the trick. So if you have any more questions, you can just go ahead and email me at Maria@Design Bear Marketing, and we will go ahead and review these next week so that we can get more into detail as to what it is that you're doing. So hope you enjoyed the recording, and I look forward to taking a look at your contact calendars.